Drones in the sky, radioactive material gone missing, the FBI banging on the doors of Americans over TikTok videos, and now the government wants backdoor access to our phones. The rabbit hole in the wonderland of the United States government doesn't ever stop. So let's go down the rabbit hole. Welcome to Wonderland. Welcome to the Joe MAGA Show. Today, we're diving into one of the most bizarre stories unfolding right now in New Jersey, and a story that seemingly has gone away overnight. Nighttime drones flying in grid patterns, a missing shipment of radioactive material, and a government that can't seem to keep track of anything except when you owe them money. Buckle up. We've got a lot to uncover in the next 15 minutes, and if you stick around long enough, I'll share with you what the heck I think is going on with the drones over New Jersey. Let me make something very clear. One of the greatest philosophers of our time saw this coming a while back, and New Jersey is evidently notorious for drones.
What people don't know is that Hudson County, New Jersey, northern New Jersey, is the #1 place in the country where they have the most UFO sightings.
Really? Northern New Jersey.
Look it up, Jamie, if you get a minute, please, not to be rude.
Reports began trickling in mid-November 2024. Residents across the Garden State and even parts of the East Coast, they started noticing strange, low-flying drones at night, crisscrossing the sky in a meticulous grid pattern. The drone sites reported in multiple New Jersey counties. Local law enforcement gets slammed with calls. They have no idea what's happening. Every time they try and get close, they can't get close enough. And the question of the hour is pretty straightforward. What the heck are they doing out there at 2 or 3 in the morning? According to aviation specialist John Ferguson of Saxon Aerospace, there's no reason for them to be flying at night other than search and smell. Quick physics lesson. Drones are not that efficient. They're great at flying, but they're not really good at doing much else, and especially seeing at night. In order for that to happen, they need thermal. So the drones, they must be scanning for something. Radioactive material? People? We don't know yet. All we do know is that these drones seem very organized. Now, don't get me wrong. They're not on the level of Chinese organized. That's a whole nother level. But they are FAA compliant for the most part and oddly consistent in their flight paths, like they're following some specific map. And guess what? The federal government, they're hush-hush. A few statements here and there, but official details, par for the course, zilch. Crickets, folks. Nothing coming in. Then, on December 2nd, 2024, a shipment arrives in New Jersey coming through Port Newark, and it's supposedly carrying radioactive material, specifically germanium-68, used for medical imaging. That's fine. There's only one problem. Praise God, there's only one problem. But that problem, a relatively big one, the container arrived empty. Not just empty, damaged and empty. That means radioactive material is now missing somewhere out in the wild or on the black market, and the government, no issue. This is a disaster waiting to happen. My taxes don't get paid, big issue. Big fines, money, jail time. Radioactive material, not really a problem. Mayor Michael Melham of Belleville is raising the alarm. He suggested that maybe these nighttime drone flights are actively searching for the lost radioactive shipment. Sounds like a sci-fi movie plot, but folks, this is real life. It's happening in New Jersey. Where's the FBI? Where's the Department of Homeland Security? Where's the NSA? Oh, they're investigating. And then they're not investigating. If the government says they're not investigating, it's probably because they're already involved. We have limited info. Somebody's playing their cards very close to the vest. Meanwhile, we have 5,000 plus tips flooding into the FBI about these drones. And the Biden administration has nothing to say. I don't think Biden has anything to say normally. I don't even know if Biden knows where he is normally. But they say the missing material poses, and I quote, minimal risk. Minimal risk? Me not paying my taxes is worthy of massive fines and jail time. But losing radioactive material? No biggie, evidently. Folks, if these were hobby drones, why the cloak and dagger routine? Why is the government so gung-ho about wiping these videos from social media, or at the very least, not saying anything? We've seen the Biden administration do some questionable things with federal agencies before, insert the Mar-a-Lago raid, but sending them to your doorstep over a silly TikTok? This is the definition of government intimidation. And even if it's not happening, and these are reports are just for clickbait, whatever the case may be, they're still not telling the truth. So what has the government said that these things are? Well, true to fashion, they've come up with a whole menu for you to dine from of excuses about what these drones might be. So first, they were coming from an Iranian mothership off the coast. Then they're just hobby and commercial drones. Then the narrative shifts again. They're not drones at all. You just suck at seeing. We're misidentifying airplanes. And when I say we, I mean everybody but the US government. This is called gaslighting, for those of you who are wondering. They're US military drones. Then they have no clue what the drones are. Then they're actually Chinese spy drones. Chinese are pretty good at making drones. Who knows? 6 contradictory explanations. First Iranian, then American, then Chinese, or maybe just a bunch of misidentified airliners. For crying out loud, either the US government is extraordinarily incompetent or they're lying through their teeth, and some, myself included, might argue both are true. But what we do know is that these shifting narratives aren't exactly inspiring confidence in the federal government's honesty and competency. And maybe that flew out the window a long time ago, which is why everybody's reacting the way that they are. And why so many people are saying the US government is in a state of ruin. This is why Trump was elected. Nothing is to be trusted anymore. We can't trust with our eyes. We can't trust with our ears. We can't trust what we read. They've lost all the respect and confidence of the American people. With this bungling of information, and I mean a bungle, this reminds me of the Seattle Seahawks at the 5-yard line during the Super Bowl. There's one guy. He's really, really good at what he does, and he only does one thing. He grabs the ball out of the quarterback's hands, and he starts running, and he doesn't stop until you hit him with a freight train. And you would think if you're only 5 yards away from the end zone, you would hand him the ball. But no, let's throw it. And while we throw it, let's throw an interception. This is what it feels like the U.S. is doing. They're bungling the ball. We don't believe what you are saying. And here's where it gets real, folks. The Biden administration conveniently, amidst all the drone hysteria, decides to push a bill that would grant law enforcement sweeping powers to intercept private communications. No consent needed. Don't take my word for it. Listen to Rand Paul, a man who's been at the center of many of the pushbacks against the U.S. government overreach. He says, and I quote, "The bill before us would grant law enforcement significant authority to intercept private electronic communications without consent. The bill would allow government to conduct dragnet surveillance of the phones of innocent Americans traveling through U.S. airports, all under the banner of neutralizing a drone." Let me translate this for us. If they suspect a drone is in the area, they can basically vacuum up all the phone data, the calls, the messages, the location, and we're supposed to trust that they won't store or misuse this information later? We've seen how well the feds handle data in the past. And in case the sarcasm wasn't picked up earlier in this video, they're not very notorious for transparency or honesty. They need to be dismantled. Kash Patel can't get in soon enough. This is the very definition of unchecked government overreach. They are turning fear and confusion into a Trojan horse for violating civil liberties. It feels like the Patriot Act 2.0, only this time the boogeyman is rogue drones. There has been a classified drone briefing. The CIA and the FBI. Why does the government keep changing its story? The suspicion among many is that top-level agencies know exactly what's going on.
Why does it have to be a classified briefing if these are just hobbyist drones, they're not military drones? Why is it a classified briefing on the Capitol Hill?
I'd have to refer you to Congress on that. Sharing as much information as we can here. I don't have.
The drone that went down, there are reports that a drone had allegedly gone down in New Jersey. Rumor has it, it's owned by a company called Amegy Incorporated. The top investor for Amegy Incorporated, drumroll please, BlackRock. And if you follow the money, you'll know that BlackRock has a hand in just about every major industry and a lot of government dealings. So, a BlackRock drone. Are these corporate-backed drones scanning for radioactive material? Are they testing new surveillance technology? Who knows? But when the biggest investment firm on the planet steps into the fray, that is a sign we're dealing with much more than just a hobby enthusiast playing around. Now, we're not exactly dealing with a government track record worthy of being praised. We've said it before, and it bears repeating. The US government has a lousy track record with missing or unaccounted nuclear materials specifically. Remember the 32 documented broken arrow incidences since 1950 when we dismantled the nuclear program during the Cold War? Multiple nuclear bombs never recovered. Toss in the old Soviet suitcase nuke rumors, and you see a long history of denial and cover-ups. So is it any wonder they can't keep a lid on this drone fiasco? Probably not. The two competing narratives now, they can find you for a $600 Venmo transaction, but they lose track of radioactive isotopes without blinking an eye. And now we're supposed to trust them when they say, don't worry, it's all under control. The scariest words in the English language are, we are the US government, and we are here to help. So, mid-November 2024, mysterious drones appear over New Jersey and the East Coast. December 2nd, radioactive shipments arrive. Empty. Germanium-68 missing. A little bit later, Mayor Melhem links the drones to the potentially missing materials. The FBI sees a surge in the tips. People start posting these videos on TikTok, evidently getting knocks on their door from the feds. Now, the government proposes a bill after backdoor hearings to intercept private communications under the guise of drone threats, with explanations ranging from Iranian motherships to misidentified airplanes. Make up your mind. Make up your mind. Now, after looking at all this, from strange flight patterns to hush-hush visits, from major investment firms like BlackRock to contradictory official stories, it's becoming more and more plausible, and this is my opinion, we're seeing some sort of government testing program in action. Could these be US military drones running covert ops or experimental flights? Are they scanning for stray radioactive material or testing new tech? The public is left in the dark. The secrecy sure points that way. This is the US government. And guess what? President Donald Trump elect weighed in on the mysterious aerial phenomenon during his time, saying, and I quote, the US government knows exactly what's happening, and we need to find what garage these are being launched in. So, in my opinion, this is what's happening. They're testing us. They're testing something, and they're certainly watching all of us react. Our liberties are on the line. This is why we voted for Trump. So there you have it. The drones, missing radioactive shipments, the FBI intimidation, the contradictory government narratives, and now a new Big Brother surveillance bill. If you're not scratching your head or feeling alarmed, you're not paying attention. We need accountability. We need Doge. We need to stand up for our rights before the hands of the government, carte blanche, start sifting through our phone, emails, and more than they already are, no matter what they claim. Iranian drones, Chinese spycraft, the latest boogeyman. Our liberties are on the line. And we know that because of all the things we don't know. Stay tuned to the Joe MAGA Show. We're going to keep digging. We're going to keep exposing truth, even if the feds show up on our door next. Hit that like button, share this video with everyone you know. Subscribe for more unfiltered conservative commentary. There's a lot in the works. I'm super excited. There's a lot of fun that's going to happen. We're going to make politics fun again. We're going to make living in America fun again. We live in a place where we can post about it. North Korea can't post videos like this. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you on the next video.